You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Domashevitz.
Welcome to the scrimmage. I am Sir Daniel Hargrove.
And I'm Justin Domashevitz. I can't do it anymore.
That's all we got.
We got our trusty producer, Andrew Gross, here with us. I apologize for that intro. But we do have lots of good stuff to talk about. We have restarts for the NBA and a startup schedule for Major League Baseball. We're going to get into both of those things.
Also, a fairly current athlete of the week. That's coming in the second half of the show, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But first, let's get it going with the 2-minute drill brought to you by State Farm agent Mark Rossetti. It's not just a home or a car, it's the 6 months you save to get your Ultra HD flat screen just in time for football season. It's the overtime you worked for that third car so that your team can drive themselves to practice. While other insurance companies just see them as a bundle or a combo, State Farm agent Mark Rossetti sees your home and car as things you work really hard for. Mark understands what your things really mean to you and is here to help you give them the protection they deserve. Visit Mark Rossetti at 613 Oak Street in Aberdeen for your home and auto insurance today.
Let's go, hello! Gotta hurry. Hey, 2-minute situation, 44 seconds, hand the ball to the ref. Gonna do it right. 3 jet Buckeye on 1 right 3.
The 2-minute drill starts now.
Hand the ball to the ref, Justin!
During an interview with USA Today, NFLPA Executive Director DeMaurice Smith was asked about social media posts from workouts by Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady and Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson. Smith said the players aren't acting in the best interest of player safety by holding the workouts. Daniel, should Tom and Russ stop holding private workouts?
Well, I saw some pictures of Tom's workout. There's definitely no social distancing going on there. So I don't know. But Russ, it was him and DK. That was like it, and they never were within like 30 yards of each other.
But they
on
touched
the
the same
video.
ball.
They did. Maybe they dumped hand sanitizer all over it. I don't know, but I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like if they want to take that risk and have the opportunity that maybe when things get started back up and they test positive and they have to sit out for 2 weeks, then that's something that I feel like should be up to them. And if they want to do that and risk missing the first 2 to 3 weeks of the season, then that's up to them. Otherwise, I don't know how you enforce it. I mean, what are you going to say? You're not allowed to do anything with your friends. I guess you could. But come on. They'll just stop posting about it on social media.
It's easier just to not have friends.
On Friday, the NBA revealed the full schedule of games for its upcoming restart in Disney World next month. The New Orleans Pelicans have the easiest schedule of the 22 teams, with only 3 of their 8 games being against current playoff teams. What? The Pels' top competition for the 8th seed in the West, Memphis and Portland, have the 5th and 6th toughest schedules. Justin, if you weren't convinced before that the NBA is doing everything it can to get Zion into the playoffs, are you convinced now?
At first I wasn't, because I thought, well, the Pelicans had the easiest remaining schedule on the previous schedule, and since the NBA tried, they quote-unquote tried, to have continuity in that respect for the new schedule that they made. At first I thought, no, that kind of makes sense. Then I saw that the Blazers jumped up from the 16th hardest schedule to the 6th hardest schedule. And then I also noticed that there was a similar disparity with Memphis. And I thought, maybe the NBA is trying to get Zion in the playoffs.
They want Zion versus Braun round 1.
Yes, they do.
And also, that question was 2 minutes long.
Major League Baseball will officially start its 60-game schedule on July 23rd or 24th. I don't know why they couldn't just pick a day, but they didn't. In recent polls done by ESPN, 73% of sports fans expressed support for the MLB's plan, and 64% said it won't change how much of the sport they watch. Daniel, will the ugly labor negotiation and missed opportunity for a quick restart by baseball change the way you feel about baseball? Dang, these questions are long. Or consume the sport going forward?
Well, of course, 64% said that it won't change how much of the sport they watch. I'm assuming that they're thinking in total and not in percentage, so they're like, yeah, I'm still just going to watch 5 games. Personally, I'm probably going to consume much more of it percentage-wise because every game means so much more. And let's say the Mariners pull a Mariners and win like 10 games at the beginning of the season and really get my hopes up. It'll be harder for them to screw it up, but also more drama-filled if they do. So, yeah, I'm going to be watching a ton of baseball. How I feel about it, I wish they would have figured something out earlier and faster and without all the ugliness. But let's be real, these two sides hate each other, and they have a labor negotiation coming up soon. So it was kind of predictable that it was going to all turn into a crap fest. After a record 22 seasons in the NBA, 43-year-old old man Vince Carter officially announced his retirement from the NBA on his podcast last week, sparking a conversation in national sports media about whether or not Carter should be in the Hall of Fame. Justin, is Vinsanity a Hall of Famer in your book?
I am of the opinion that I don't understand why this is even really a question. I heard it on Around the Horn, and 2 of 3 people on Around the Horn said no, he should not be a Hall of Famer.
What?
And I was like, am I missing something? And I listened to Dan Patrick the next day, and he was like, wait, what's the argument against it? I don't understand this. Why are people saying this? He is 19th on the all-time scoring list. In addition to being a Rookie of the Year, he's made the All-Star team 8 times.
Yes.
He led in All-Star voting 4 times, including 3 years in a row. He also is the only player in NBA history with 1,000 dunks and 2,000 three-pointers. And it is by volume, but he also shot 37.1% from beyond the arc in his career. So he was incredibly accurate. He's 6th all-time in three-pointers made. There is no argument that I will listen to that Vince Carter is not a Hall of Famer. So J.A. Adonde.
Oh, you got buzzed.
J.A. Adonde, you can get the heck out.
He's also the only player to play in 4 decades, and he's 3rd all-time in games played. So I feel like if you get to that point, it's probably because you're pretty good that teams still want you around. And I had no idea he was such an accurate 3-point shooter.
Yeah, and he actually, I've heard people say things along the lines of he totally changed his game when he wasn't as athletic anymore, but he was shooting 40% on 3-pointers. He did shoot a higher volume later in his career, but even from like his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th years, he's in the high 30s, low 40s on 3-point percentage. So he was an incredibly accurate 3-point shooter his entire career, not just towards the end. I think there actually were a few years towards the end when he was injured and didn't shoot quite as well as he had previously.
Also, was he the last guy in the dunk contest to really do something that we haven't seen before? Like, not like bringing a car in or jumping over something or doing something gimmicky, but was he the last person to actually do something in a dunk contest that we all went, whoa!
Yeah, possibly.
I've never seen that before. When he put his arm in the rim?
Yeah.
Like, that was nuts.
Between the legs, windmill, 360, whatever it was, that was really amazing.